We recently suffered a loss in our family as Patricia's grandmother, my wife Patricia's grandmother, passed away. Out of the 8 grandparents between us, she was the last one. So it was a very sad time. So I've been particularly pensive and reflective recently, and I think today's gospel about Martha's encounter with Jesus was perfect timing, as it reminds me of Jesus' goodness. Suffering, heartache, and loss always pose difficulties and challenges. We experience not only the immediate pain of the moment, but we also ask questions and search for answers that may not be immediately forthcoming. The answers are always there, I promise you, but they may take time to unfold and reveal themselves, or may remain a mystery. But in every instance, God's good and loving purpose, his master plan, endures. But when tragedy happens, we undergo a test of faith and an invitation to God to trust, come what may. We hear him asking the really important questions. Do you believe I am who I say I am? Do you understand that your ways are not my ways? Do you know that I did not cause this suffering? Do you trust me that I love you and I'm watching over you and that everything is going to be okay? Do you understand that there is a larger plan at work, even if you, human, can't immediately see it? The response of some people to this test is tragic and heartbreaking, using fallacious logic and arriving at the wrong conclusions. For instance, God caused this. Wrong. God doesn't care. Wrong again. God doesn't exist. The wrongest of the wrong. And so God is sadly blamed, derided, forgotten, and denied as some contend with their struggles. Times of difficulty can be bad and hard, but let today's gospel about Martha's interaction with Jesus show us the right way to respond. Here's what happens. Martha's brother Lazarus has already died. Now, of course, Martha is upset, but crucially, how does Martha respond to the tragedy? First, she runs out to meet Jesus when he arrives. She doesn't hesitate. She doesn't mope. She doesn't ignore. She goes directly to the Lord despite her pain. And she says to him, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Now, this is one of the times in the Bible where it would be helpful to hear tone of voice and see Martha's facial expressions and body language. We don't have that, and so some have interpreted this comment as a rebuke, a sarcastic sneer toward Jesus. Well, if you had been here, Jesus, Lazarus wouldn't have died. I don't think so. That isn't consistent with the other things that Martha says in the gospel, and it isn't in keeping with what we know about Martha and the great faith that she shows elsewhere in gospel stories. Rather, I interpret her remark as a plain and simple statement of fact and demonstration of great faith in the Lord. In other words, Lord, I know who you are, and I know what you can do. And when Jesus asks her directly if she believes he is the resurrection and the life, Martha's answer is immediate and unequivocal. She's clearly thought this through. I have come to believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God. Now, Martha here gives one of the clearest and most unambiguous statements of faith found in Holy Scripture, arguably right up there with St. Thomas's, my Lord and my God, after physically touching Jesus. Let Martha's response always be our first answer whenever we are similarly challenged in tough circumstances. Through pain and suffering and grief, remain rock solid in our faith and trust in the Lord and his ways. For like Martha, I know who you are, Jesus. I know you are the resurrection and the life. I know you are the Christ, the Son of God. I may not understand. I may be hurting from my loss. But I know you are with me, and my trust in you is absolute and complete.